All right. Welcome. This is Shaheen Shayan again with Podcast Cola. We're one of the premier podcasting agencies in the country. What that means is that we get you booked on amazing top podcasts all over the country and all over the world, 100% guaranteed. We'll build out a pitch for you. We'll help you craft the story that you want to tell to sell your product or service through this most amazing medium that I love, podcasting. Okay, so what I wanted to share with you today is a simple hack of how to create a podcast, your very own show, your podcast show, distributed on every medium possible: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, all of them, for very low cost and without ever producing a single episode. This is video and audio. And now I know you're thinking, how could I do that? How could I have a podcast with hundreds of episodes if I've never produced them? Surely I must get somebody else to produce them. Partially correct. You're going to be on all these podcasts, and they're going to be on all types of channels, and we're going to borrow other people's audience to build your authority. But a little known hack that most people don't know into how you can get tons of episodes built and build out an entire podcast that's distributed. When people Google your name, your podcast will show up. So I will share this with you momentarily. So what you see here is my podcast, Hack and Grow Rich. Make sure to subscribe and like. We're on all the top channels. And one of the things you'll notice is there are hundreds of episodes here. But I've really only produced a couple, maybe a few dozen shows with my co-host Bart Baggett. We do a weekly show just because it's fun and I enjoy doing it. But there's lots of shows here, tons and tons of shows. So how does that work? Well, it's really simple. When I do a show and I'm booked with Podcast Cola like everybody else, I will ask that show host if I can record locally, if it's on Zoom, if it's on StreamYard or one of the other podcasting platforms that they use. What I will do is I will ask the show host, hey, can you send me a raw copy so I can share it on my platform and make clips and share clips and memes and quotes and all that to help promote your show and send you subscribers? 99% of people will say yes, and they will give you that content. And all you have to do is get a really good VA. We can do it for you if you become a Podcast Cola client. So reach out to us about that and get them to use a service called Otter.ai to get the transcript and then to upload it to Podbean or Anchor, whatever podcast distribution service that you prefer. Again, if you become a client, we'll show you the best ones to get on, save you a ton of money that way. But that is the hack to getting booked, or not getting booked, but being on tons of these shows. It's amazing for your SEO, and it shows up as being your own podcast. So when you go onto my website and you click under podcasts, what you'll notice is that we have podcasts that Bart and I did and that I've done under Hack and Grow Rich, which is our show. But then there's collabs. And if you look at the collabs, there are hundreds of collaborations, and you can check them out on ShaheenShayan.com, of shows that I've been featured on, and they all become part of my podcast, showing fresh content on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, all those different channels. So make sure that when you do get on a show, that what you do is that you ask for permission. And think about it like this. I love thinking about it like this, is that when you are doing a show, regardless of if there's 1,000 dedicated, engaged audience, if there's 50 people, or if there's 50 million people watching it, you do the same. You perform the same. Why? Because that is content that you are going to promote. You're going to promote it on your site. You're going to promote it on your blog, and you're going to promote it on other people's blogs and social. So you are just producing content that you are sharing with the world. So it doesn't really matter as much if it's one person or 1 million people watching it in that moment, because if you create great content, that great content can be aggregated across the internet and help you build authority, which is what we like to do. And again, what do? We are Podcast Cola. We get you booked on great shows. We've got a single low transparent fee. We guarantee you placement on the country's top podcasts, actually the top podcasts in the world, in your specific niche. And the amazing thing is we have never failed. We have never had a single client say, hey, you didn't get me booked on shows. So reach out to us. Just go to the book a call link and book a free 15-minute consultation, and let's get on the phone and see if we can help you. It's podcastcola.com, and see if we can help you by bringing value to you. At the very least, we can have a 15-minute strategy call. I can give you a few tips and tricks of how you can even get somebody on your own team to start helping you get booked on these shows. And the most important thing is get yourself out there and start building authority. I'll see you on the next video.